Soviets and Soviets of the Red Army, how y'all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
I'm Angru, low.
And folks, we promised you some more Red Storm Rising this week, and we deliver actually on a map that we haven't seen a whole lot of. We are finally back on Ostrowno, and we got HerrRobert, we've got Nilla again. Are they bringing the same troops as before, or what's going on here?
So, on left-hand side in the blue, we have Nilla playing 25th Panzergrenadier, and the right-hand side in the red, have HerrRobert playing 2nd Guard tank, and both of them once again going for the Vanguard income. They're very aggressive players, as we've seen in Tuesday's game.
Well, the fun thing about this is that when you look at 25th Panzergrenadier, despite the fact that they're technically a Panzergrenadier group, the Panzer part's a little bit light.
Yeah, well, they just got the Stugs, you know, the Panthers and Panzers and Tigers were all left at home. They had to just stick with the quote-unquote assault gun. But they do have a lot of 222s, and that's kind of their gimmick. You can really spam those 222s. And we're seeing them come to fruition in the center.
Yeah, but they're all going to die in about 5 seconds as a company of troops just completely plasters them, their ancestors, and everything else in between. But if the Dornier gets its bombs off, this could be absurd. And he does not. That is so lucky over here for HerrRobert.
Normandy coming in clutch, yeah, but it's a pretty scary tank blob here. I mean, we've got 85s, 76s, there's a whole lot of dedicated anti-tank, and Nilla doesn't really have a dedicated tank blob of his own. He has a few Stugs, Pack 40 being brought out, but I don't think that's going to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems to be the fact that they got stuck back at the rear echelon areas here. But the early flag does go over here to Nilla. 13-11 up there. Not too surprising, though.
Yeah,
Go, please.
No, it's definitely like HerrRobert is really banking everything, because that's a lot of points early on. As we're seeing in the rest of the flanks, he really does not have much defending anywhere else. I mean, he hasn't even really gone for the northern town in an aggressive manner, just sending a BA-64.
Now, there's a Pack 40 on this hillside that is probably going to get lit up because these guns take forever to deploy in this mod.
Yeah.
And there you go. And there you go.
Not surprising. Not surprising at all.
Ooh, and the okay. So what I kind of forgot about, I forgot that we had the Kriegs veteran over here as well. So these guys, much better resistance, rate of fire, accuracy, things like that. Awesome. I saw the Knights Cross, and my first thought was, they don't come out with MG34s, do they? And I was like, you doof, you're thinking of Company of Heroes again.
Oh yeah, it's a similar icon.
Yeah, and you know, it's kind of interesting. You just get kind of so used to seeing certain kind of ideas and characteristics over here.
Mm-hmm.
If I was at that 222, I'd be backing off though. Like, this is not where I'd want to be.
No. He could definitely see if his recon optics, that would be a bad idea to stay there. But HerrRobert hasn't... He has a pretty good, like, coverage or zoning, so to speak, with all his heavy anti-tank, but he hasn't managed to gain a whole lot of ground. Nilla's definitely risen in terms of the control and map portion. He's bringing not one, not two, but 3 Pack 38s into the north central hill to try and, blow up some T-34s.
The regrettable thing right now, though, is an early Stug, or no, actually, early Stug Befehler, not a commandant per se, but an early Stug with, I think it was a 140, yeah, so it was one of the 140s over here, not able to really get a whole lot done. It kind of feels like if I have 4 tanks in an area on this map, as long as I don't get caught out completely, it's going to get pretty ugly pretty quick.
Yeah, HerrRobert definitely has the huge numbers advantage in terms of armor. We are going to see the Dornier try to come in once again to blow up some tanks. It's only going after like some T-34 76s, which don't seem to be the correct target. Definitely want to try and blow up some E-85s. Does get the bombs off, yo. But will it blow up?
Wow.
Yeah. Because the bombs are actually deadly in this mod. Blow up tank, but to compensate, bomber aircraft usually have a longer reload time.
Which kind of makes some sense here. Rather plucky 222 from the side is engaging an 85, kill the damage an antenna, KO the commander, but like again, you see this. We have 3 or 4 different armor, let's say, engagements going on here that all of them pretty much go one way, which is purely Soviet, just because of the quality of material.
Yeah, I mean, Second Guard Tank Corps is actually pretty scary in this mod, because you just get a lot, and I mean a lot of T-34 85s. Especially against Nilla, who really only has thugs. He doesn't have a whole lot of super heavy AT. He has 1 card of Pack 43, so after that, it's really just, you know, the Pack 40 guns, which can, you know, they do work pretty well, but it's more of an even fight compared to just blowing them up from 2 kilometers away with 88mm of nasty firepower.
Now, I'm patently aware of the fact that this is not going to happen, but I would love to see the SPA troop, or the SPA wagon over here, come out and rake these S-276s from the rear, because he can technically penetrate every single one of them.
Oh yeah, I do like that position of the 222. It's a very sneaky spot.
Well, it's one of those flags you don't really pay attention to very often.
No, but yeah, definitely Nilla playing very well using the 222 early advantage to just try and get some interesting maneuvers, yeah, and he was allowed to do that because HerrRobert really did not invest much in the far northern flank. It's pretty, you know, barren for the longest time until 76 came by.
But this is the uphill battle, I mean, almost literally in some cases, that Nilla's going to be fighting the entire time here. We, like you said, anti-tank, you get a decent amount of troops over here for that. I'm wondering if he's going to start trying to throw in some Panzerstrike squads, even if they're kind of almost suicide troops. I'm really trying to wrap my head around, like, what would I be doing if I was fighting against this division? Now, I mean, in a real world, I'd be saying, you know what, I need heavy armor support, I'm pulling out, you can throw your troops away if you want to. But then I've always been a very kind of, you know, loving general. In this, like, what do you do? Like, what is the counterplay to this?
Yeah, it's a pretty nasty blob. I'm guessing artillery and airstrikes would work best, just try to blow them up. But yeah, in terms of, he can't really engage that blob head-on, run, because he just, unless he builds up a huge force of thugs, it's still going to be a costly firefight. He either just needs to try and pick off run with the Pak 38, or use some high explosive guy, whether it's artillery or airplane, to get the job done. The nice thing here is he, you know, Nilla still has the infantry advantage, and he is holding on to this, you know, central hill position as well as that forest, just due to the fact he has Panzerfaust.
Very true. Very true. Weird, I think I would call it a bug, even though I know it's not really a bug. Just happening here, we have Pak 38 kills a driver, and the tank continues to turn. So unless
you know, when he died, he just, like, you know, rigor mortis onto, like, the correct steering lever position.
You know, and that's what I was thinking. I thought we had like an Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade thing, where like that tank from Hatay, the guy goes down and just kind of leans into the one crankshaft over here. Macabre as that might be, Pak 38 in the meantime, he's going to find himself killed here, but he is buying some more time for this Pak 40 to start taking some of these Su-76s in the flank, which I think is going to pay a little bit more dividends for the bigger scope.
Yeah.
Though it's now going to be his turn to suffer.
Yeah, and this is like, I like how HerrRobert has decided to go through that forest of T-34s, even though there was potential infantry Panzerfaust, but he managed to avoid him, which makes him pretty lucky. One T-3045 is going to get fausted here, and yeah, HerrRobert just has, like, it's a really scary amount of armor here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's all choke pointed.
Yes, but that's the funny thing, is that right now we're continuing just to see squad after squad, whether it's Panzerfausts, or we have these, you know, Pak 38s, the door knockers, and I think there's just enough kind of like gnat attacks, and that's not really a thing per se, but we have these mosquito bites where they're just annoying enough that you have to invest a lot of attention and time into it, which just allows for more and more of them to get picked off. And yes, we are going to see a lot of tanks. It's a tank corps for a reason. But I think you can definitely blunt an advance pretty easily by doing that.
Yeah. Just trying to knock out run. I definitely think the LA Corps getting some Panzerstrikes would definitely help. I mean, as we're seeing in this central hill position here, the Panzergrenadiers not having Panzerfaust is definitely screwing him over a bit, but he is starting to knock out a few tanks here and there with a bomb and run and a good anti-tank gun position. So, Nilla can't engage his tank blob head-on per se, but he can kind of lead him towards deeper into his lines and just try to pick off run. And that is a lot of Dorners, and I'm liking it. I'm liking that play a lot.
Yeah, I'm liking the play, and you can definitely see it pays dividends in forcing the tanks back. My only concern here is you only get so many Dorniers.
Yeah, and so many bombs, because it is going to be a slower reload, but even just knocking out 1 or 2 tanks is not terrible per se. He is going to lose one of the Dorniers.
Yes, he is. And that man, he rode out like a champion. Witness him. Northern side, though, but for an MG-34 and a rather plucky off-color Pioneer, there's nothing else engaging him from the Soviet side, which is kind of a missed opportunity, I think, from the Soviets. You can definitely edge hug over here and be very, very effective.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, HerrRobert's he's continuing to just buy tanks and tank destroyers. It's just great. It's just Su-85s, Su-20, just everything. Just bloody everything. But he still hasn't managed to make a breakout. Yeah, I feel like if he can capture Central Hill, that's pretty much it for Nilla, because that would be such a good fire position for HerrRobert to just blink at long range with all his armor. He's still confined to this narrow pass.
Yeah, and which is such a bizarrely missed opportunity, you know?
Yeah, like trying to... I think he sent a few units to that hill, but it didn't go well off the start.
Unfortunately,
I could be completely misremembering, I don't know.
Pack 43 is going to get donated for 0 health, though, which is such a shame, because those guys are super expensive and really, really powerful.
Yeah, he definitely should not have deployed it as close. I mean, with a thing like that, even though it's risky to deploy it out in the open, you have a 2-kilometer range over 1.6, so you could just park it somewhere, like, by the road and just...
Walk it in.
Yeah, walk it in slowly, just pick off tanks when they can't shoot you.
And now the converse is going to be true, because the forest is slowly being cleared out, which means they only really have to angle against certain engagements from certain sides. And while the Su-76s are sending messages in a bottle, jeez, they'll go so slow.
I know.
It's like watching the heat rounds from an IG-18.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's very low velocity cannon for a reason. Not very low, but low enough, as we see.
I didn't think that throwing an iron cigar that slow, though, could go that far. But Su-85 Combrati, I mean, we're definitely seeing a lot of veterancy, and that's going to continue to be a hassle here. And, yeah, so seeing a PE-2 come in, and then 2 BF-109s, so the PE-2, that's going to probably not make it, because they don't have the same kind of resilience as the IL-2 does.
Nope. And, no, survives the pass at least. Normandy gets 1 kill. I know, the PE-2 might be lucky.
He does. He pulls that out.
Yeah, Normandy draws a little bit of fire. But will the Normandy go down? Because it is only a pretty light fighter.
Nope, because the Flak 38 is going to get nuked into orbit, so that'll be fun. There we go.
Yeah, clutch play from the T-34, saving his aircraft brethren. And this is starting to look pretty bad here from Nilla, because HerrRobert is starting to make a slow but very steady breakthrough through the center here. It's just a very nasty tank blob. And Nilla is starting to, got some Stugs deployed in a defensive position. Like, yeah, I think he's pretty much just waiting for this push to happen, because he is getting a whole lot of martyrs.
Well, and that's the funny thing, too, is that you have this, platoon of mortars off to one side, you have the 88 and the 2 Stokes backing it up. I think my concern is the HE and geez, even the AP is going to stress out everything at the same time, so that's going to cause more than a little bit of a hassle.
Yeah. But this is all Nilla can really do. He can't engage it head on. He's just going to have to wait for the tidal storms to come towards him.
Yeah, but I think it's the right call.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, he definitely has a much more defensive tank. I mean, he has tank destroyers quite literally, so you need to wait for him to get close. try to get a first shot advantage.
I think the problem, though, is that he doesn't have the veterancy advantage.
No, he doesn't. Or the armor. Like, once those T-34s engage, like, they're a little bit more resilient being shot at. Due to all that thick aluminium steel that they have.
Just check. Oh, but they do. That mortars do have the rate of fire, at least.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's correct, because it's like an open-top vehicle.
I'm just looking that up myself. I'm trying to think if there's any kind of advantage that they could press, and that's probably the best they can do, is the fact that, you know, it's a little harder to fire fast. You have to be inside that cramped turn.
Yeah. You know, to be fair, the Su-26s have a 13 rounds a minute fire rate, which is really good for the actual gun.
True. Now, the Dornier 217 over here, if you can get the bomb loads off, I almost guarantee you're going to see... Oh no, both of them are coming in. Oh my gosh, this is going to be awful. This is going to be a true highway to hell here.
Oh, this is great. He's going to bomb out his tank, suppress him, and then attack of his tank destroyers.
Yes, that was the right... That's a genius kind of opportunity here. Heck, I think even the 88's getting forward, so that's a really, really nice play.
Yeah, it was pretty much what Nilla needs to do. Yeah, he does lose one Dornier, but the actual play and keeping that back, it definitely is going to work out. Yo, there is a Katusha on the field, and she's going to be showing her true colors in, well, probably like a minute.
And the mortars are still going to be engaging those tanks too, so this is going to be awful.
Yeah, and it's a pretty... Those mortars are all pretty close together. Yo, he's not actually going to press the attack. He's going to fall back. I wonder how it's going to affect the Katusha's aiming.
Well, the problem is the Katusha has a really, really devastating spread of rockets, really in every single direction, zip code, country. Like, he's fighting right now in the Ukraine. He might as well be shooting at Poland. Who knows?
Indeed. But yeah, with the mortars falling back, he's actually going to re-aim. But yeah, just one good Katusha shot. Woodblower could potentially... I don't want to, like... No, completely be certain that all those mortars will die, but one or two would definitely go down at least, I think, due to open top nature.
Oh, more than likely. More than likely.
Yeah.
Veteran peak runs on that hill continue to be quite a bit of a hassle here. Pushing back a Strelky squad or two as it kind of comes in rather efficient order. And geez, the Stoogs start to show their quality as they engage a potential flanking maneuver over here around that forest. I am surprised that so much forest focus has been done here. I really feel like the mechanized group is slowing themselves down artificially. They should be working those flanks. There's a lot more open area. Yes, you surrender the range advantage, but if you can just assemble all these iron fists, if I start throwing jabs, you're not going to be able to keep up with me.
Yeah, I feel like HerrRobert trying to focus through that like central highway position. It's really risky to push here because there's this lot of open ground between you and the enemy, and as you see, Nilla has a lot of areas where you can put his defenses. I feel like Robert really should have been pushing more heavy into the central hill position, because once you capture it, you just camp it, you shoot long range with a huge blob of tanks, pretty much it.
True.
I feel like for Nilla, like one of the MVPs for him has just been these veteran Panzergrenadiers, just holding this hill, because if he loses that hill, I think that's pretty much game over.
Well, it gives you so much flexibility, because if you need to turn one way or the other, so long as you position your troops on just a little bit down the slope, you don't have to be engaged by both sides. It's one or the other. It's never going to be both.
Yeah, which is a really lovely feature of that hill, just due to the double slope nature. You can, choose how exposed you want to be.
Oh geez, it's getting bad. When we're getting veteran Pigrens, the Panzerfaust getting kills, that's how you know it's getting really rough in that forest.
Yeah, I mean, we got some Chernos being thrown in now, and they're pretty pants, all things considered, so the Panzergrenadiers should have a pretty easy time. He needs more like tank to sneaky and Avtomachikis to really clear that forest out. And then flame pioneers, that's even scarier. That's
okay though, because we still got this 3 that somehow is behind the front lines. Oh wait!
Katusha?
She's dropping short though. Oh no. Oh no.
Race of a barrage.
I mean, she stopped it for half a second. She stopped the press, but this force is now going to be very much, I think, in Nilla's favor.
Yeah, and securing that forest really just holds that tank blob, because if he completely captures that forest, you slap a few anti-tank guns in there, and Robert won't be able to get close.
That's true. I am saying that, but we still are seeing martyrs going down here and there. But true to their name, I mean, they're happy to give their lives for the cause.
Mm-hmm.
And if they get that first shot advantage over here, I'm not going to say they're more accurate than a SU-76, but
I think they are. I'm fairly certain they are. So don't quote me on that.
The last, we're going to see a BF-109 being donated here. Oh my gosh, though, the quad, I forgot the quad 20s. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
This Yak 9 shouldn't make it out.
I love seeing any anti-aircraft piece that has 4 guns on it, whether it's Quad 20s, Shilkers, War Game, 4 Maxims. I mean, if you're gonna be anti-air, you gotta be showy about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Why have 1 gun when you can have 4? It's not just more firepower, but it definitely scares the airplane much more.
It scares me, and I'm not even flying a stupid airplane. Dornier coming back in. This might be another dead Dornier. Engine stalling. Yeah, he's gonna go down. I almost guarantee it. We've seen those 37 Palms have been no joke.
No, they're just a lovely all-round unit. You know, like 37, 40mm anti-aircraft guns. You know, just so useful in all roles.
Also, we're also seeing Stug's knife fight with Su-85s, which is just such a bizarre thing to watch.
Yeah.
And this is so strange to watch tank destroyers be like this. It's like West Side Story nonsense over here, and then we have all of these little infantry squads kind of dancing around. This is a huge problem for the Soviets because they're going to continue to fall off over here as we go into Phase C. Yes, Stug after Stug is being killed, jammed gun, crew killed, everything like that. But even having those pillboxes there is going to be more than enough, I would say.
Yeah. And the main thing is that Nilla still has map advantage. He's been slowly taking HerrRobert down this entire time. He still has that all-important central hill position, which is really what's going to matter in the end of the day. I mean, this map is just so important, that hill.
It's true, but there's 2 Tankovy Vanguard squads moving in, and these guys, if they get into proper range, like I'm going to even zoom in on this fight right now, because this will be over in about 5 seconds if he's not careful.
It's a smoke launcher 42 Khan. And he's firing his loads into the Su-85 blob. So we'll see how this will go.
I didn't even see that.
It's like 300... Oof. Holy crap, it was explosions!
The explosions and the Tankovy Vanguard literally took down that entire squad, I think, in about 3 seconds. I zoomed out to the naval buffer, I zoomed back in, and the fight was over.
Yeah, holy crap, that was nasty. Just an explosion and the flame residue, yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's Neighbor I thought they launched smoke, Khan, but they launched fire.
Actually, I think it's a much more advanced version. They want to make sure you get that smoke and that flame. You know, that nice kind of grilled smell that you have when you have like a nice piece of meat. I heard like roast Chernow. Beautiful this time of year. So, as I very blithely talk about war crimes against Soviet reservists, we are going to see Su-85s coming right back up the middle. Because, you know, if at first you don't succeed, throw in more equipment. And I think it's very much HerrRobert's kind of just starting to get kind of that bull-headed nature of, you know what, eventually he's got to run out of troops.
Yeah. I mean, in both of these matches we've seen between HerrRobert and Nilla in this mod, HerrRobert has definitely been very bullish on just getting lots and lots and lots of armor. But in this game, compared to Tuesday's match, it's just not working out. He just does not have that good of a position.
You know, it's actually kind of ironic that he's a bull because he's representing the bear right now.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, certainly not really being loyal to the motherland. He's got to watch out. The Soviet Zemplins might take him out soon enough. And this Dornier, one of the last of his kind, I believe, in this entire division. I'm gonna limp on forwards, but I think again these things have had more kills I think than most carpet bombs do, and they're not really made for that.
No, I mean bomber aircraft in this mod is actually scary. Or as you see, only getting some suppressive hits with that bombing run. Susha is going to be able to fire off another load. Let's see how she does.
No, she's aiming at the right thing too. So, and this pack, I would be very surprised if the 88 survives.
Yeah. It is so nice seeing artillery being used in this mod.
So nice just seeing artillery being used.
Yeah. Especially the rocket kind is the most explosive.
Yes.
And loudest.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And shockingly enough, she's not going to get any kills.
Yeah.
Katya, what is wrong with your nails these days?
Pretty underwhelming, jeez. I mean, that Pack 43 would be such an, you know, VIP target to blow up.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm surprised right now we're actually not seeing the Shrek kind of moving out of this forest to pick up both his Kamarati and the Su-85 to post the shooter killed. But I imagine when you have another 2 companies of Su-85s just outside the forest, I wouldn't want to move either, so...
But yeah, I mean, we are seeing this, you know, small push here down south here from HerrRobert with some T-34 76s, but the Pack 38 will be enough to keep him at bay for the time being, and usually making any push along the southern end of this map is... It just doesn't happen for both sides. It's too much open ground, too much heavily defended area between both players. You just can't really make it happen.
And the brace of Martyrs are going to help too.
Oh yeah, that'd also deter any sort of attack, I think.
Although you know what, I love this. Okay, he's literally moving him in and out. Like, this is actually how tank destroyers are supposed to be used. Like, historically speaking, that's such a small thing, but it's just so much fun to see.
Yeah. There's also just very good micro from Nilla's part.
Yes.
Yeah, not wanting to stick around for T-34 to aim, because, well, that happened.
That's true, but he still has one more, and he can still engage at least the Cherno in the open. So until that T-34-76 comes in, and he's not going to because his tracks have been broken, so his legs are gone. There's more of him coming in, but this is still very much Nilla's game to lose.
Yeah, he just has a good defensive position, that's all he needs to do. He just has 10 minutes on the clock, so to speak, and... I mean, he has... Once again, very good map control. HerrRobert has a very scary tank blob. Or more anti-tank blob. It's a lot of Su-85s, yeah, it's 50-50. But really we have to do anything with it, because he keeps having these scary tank blobs, but he pretty much been relegated to this, you know, small area of the map with these tank blobs.
You know, it is mildly amusing to me that we just had another Studebaker get captured, and then get lit up by every single Su-85 in the entire Russian state. But he's making another huge push here. This is going to go horribly if he's not careful.
Yeah, and he doesn't really have much recon with his force as well, so we'll see how this will go. Oh, he has a BA-64, never mind. Something at least.
There's still 88s and Pack 40s over here. The 88 is a tough customer. He's taken on one by one here.
Yeah. There we go. We've got some artillery being brought in, some...
Aerial artillery.
Oh, yeah. As well as the 105 off-map.
Mm-hmm.
And the 410.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, I love how deadly aircraft are in this mod. It's so satisfying to see.
Ironically, I thought he was going to save those Su-85's lives, but all 6 of them might die here.
Yeah.
No, okay, four might die here now. Shockingly enough, I think that guy saved about 8 or 10 Soviet crewmen for at least another 30 or 40 seconds.
Yeah. And there we go, the off-map's going to strike. Will it be deadly? I mean, it's a very bunched up blob, yeah.
And the poor scouts just stumbled into a firestorm. Yikes. So, very much encouraged to leave. Yowza.
Yeah, Yowza indeed. And Nilla just had HerrRobert in a fantastic position, as he's really done a very good job of just tightening this corridor. You know, if Robert tries to push up through the center, there's a whole heap of anti-tank. He can't really... His best bet is to still push hill, but there's a lot of very nasty German infantry with machine guns, which make it pretty hard for a tank to get close to.
Yeah, that's very true. And honestly, I was just looking over here to see if there's any other artillery to kind of be utilized. And Nibelwerfer is still technically ready to go. Does he have ammo? Yeah, he still has ammo.
Yeah.
So, were it me, I think I would just pound the eastern slopes of the hill and then kind of push back in again.
Yeah, that'd be the best bet. We got Dornier coming in, and just the constant air power has been absolutely nasty. But Normandy is going to intercept.
He got his bombs off.
Intercept it does.
Bombs are off though. Doesn't matter. It just
yeah?
get nailed. Oh no! Jeez.
I do love how in this mod, compared to vanilla, you don't just have to rely on anti-tank planes such as clusters or gun planes or rocket planes to blow up tanks efficiently. Just, a bunch of 500 or 250 kilogram bombs is enough to really blow up most armored targets if you drop enough.
This Yak's gonna get taken out too.
Oh yeah.
Yep, wing ripped off. I'm surprised that's all it did.
Yeah. Probably been atomized with that flag fire.
Wouldn't surprise me. Oof, wait. There's massive artillery on the other side here. What just dropped over here on the hillside?
Oh, PU2.
Okay, I turned away for a second.
Yeah.
Another artillery strike coming on in, and I'm not going to have quite the same effect as the first one did. Not saying the first one had a huge impact over here, but regardless, might see the occasional kill or two. And I get the feeling, I'm probably going to be wrong on this, but I get the feeling that the KD is going to be markedly different than what we had seen in previous games. It's probably not going to be anywhere near as even as these guys have been in the past.
Yeah, it definitely felt like Nilla was trading pretty efficiently that match, and he was mostly just blowing up, a lot of Soviet armor targets. But Nilla hasn't lost he's definitely lost a few Stogs, but his Marders and anti-tank guns have definitely come out a little bit cheaper.
One thing that I'm going to be interested to see is I want to see the number of ground kills from those bombers. Those bombers don't exist. This is a completely different game, but I'm pretty sure that Nilla loses.
Yeah, definitely did a very useful job of just blowing up those blobs, because one of the downsides of having all your guys on a big blob is it makes it very easy to get artillery and bomb.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude. Taking back that second force over here, I think, has also been very, very instructive in kind of keeping things steady. Down to the south, we haven't paid attention to it in quite a bit of time, but you can see there's a Panzerschreck team, there's a couple of T-34-76s. I would not be surprised how many... Okay, yeah, so the P-Shrek has used, what? Only one of his shells. Jeez, I kind of thought he used more than that. But we previously had seen 2 or 3 T-34-76s being brought down there, so the fact that we're only seeing one now, I think says an awful lot about what went on here in the previous few minutes while we were looking away.
Indeed. Yeah, Robert's force in the center is not really much left. It's all been blown up to bits, as you can see from the Highland smoke wrecks just littered across that town. Or littered across the hill. And here comes the 410.
If there was a town, there's not a town anymore.
Yeah.
And no, please.
No, I'm just curious to see what the aircraft have done.
30 seconds, we might see one more angry barrage from Katya, but Katya has not been herself. Been very, very passive in what she's been able to accomplish.
Yeah, been very underwhelming today. Maybe now she's deployed a little bit closer to the front line, or because you definitely have to get close to really make her pretty effective. They're still shooting for a far target, so I don't expect us to see much, but there's only 5 seconds left. We're not even going to see the explosive finale.
Nope, but I think we've seen plenty of explosions in the first place. If you look at that center road, it looks like the moon. And yes, that's much more of the kind of KD that I expected. 1,000 points difference doesn't seem like a whole lot. And indeed, if you look at some of the kills, we have some very, very respectable in SU-85 with 3 kills in a pack. Shockingly enough, that's probably the most killy thing here. But Dornier, first Dornier, what, 6 kills, 5 kills from that one. And BF-109 kills an airplane here. Another Dornier, 6th kill from that one. I really felt like there was a lot more still, but geez, I don't know how it was, but it felt like every single time you turned around, there were just bombing kills consistently. So I don't know what I was looking at then.
I think you just had a lot of airplanes spread out those kills.
True.
And also, it's not just the kills that helped out a lot of the airplanes. It was stressing out the blobs.
True.
It's definitely saved his ass. Yeah. I felt like Robert really screwed himself over for not trying to be more aggressive on that hillside. Even with a tank blob division like that, you can fight pretty effectively on the hill. And to really, secure the central part of that map, he needed that hill.
Yes.
It was definitely a hill worth dying on.
Yeah. I would definitely agree with you there. I think that we definitely saw a lot more. Forget efficient play. We saw a lot more strong containment play from Nilla.
Yeah, but at the same time, Robert really screwed himself over because he really contained himself to that one area.
Yes.
He didn't do too much of his tank blob. Even early on, he had a nice tank blob, but didn't do any amazing or crazy pushes with it.
True.
He tried to make that push in the center, but yeah, that's not going to happen.
True. So unfortunately, he definitely kind of made himself stumble a bit there. But sometimes some days are the windshield, some days are the bug.
Yeah, but one run, Robert won the last replay, and Nilla wins this one. So, very good play from both sides, nonetheless.
Absolutely.
Both, very high tier players, of course. And it's fun to see in such high tier play in this mod, because this is a very good mod. We hope to see more tournaments and more replays from it, because it's a nice change of pace compared to vanilla. It's not just trophy spam.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, at least from our side. So I really do always hope to see more of these things here.
Yeah.
But regardless, folks, I think that's going to do it for us today. Until next time, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangru. Take it easy.